going to be a back bend sequence where we're going to open up and lengthen the front body and hopefully bring a bit of zing and energy back into the front body. So I want you to get your block and have it near you. Just put it beside you on your mat and come to lying down, but with your feet on the floor and your knees bent. So park your bottom in the middle of the mat, bring your elbows down, bring your head all the way down. Now, pick your bottom up and put your block underneath your lower back. So if you need to, have a quick look, sit up for a moment, put the block right underneath your very lower back so that your tailbone is just coming off the front of the block. Then pick up your left leg and interlace your fingers around the knee and gently draw your left knee towards your left shoulder. Don't pull too much here. This pose isn't about this leg here and now, it's about this leg. So the right leg now, lengthen it, straighten it, and bring the heel down to the floor. Relax your shoulders here. And that straight leg, the right leg, turn the toes and the knee to point up towards the ceiling. So what we're doing here is beginning to stretch the hip flexor and the thigh, getting some nice length in the front body. So let's change side and do the other leg. Release that left leg, pick up your right leg, change the interlace of your fingers. If the block moved, then move it back. Straighten your left leg long down the mat. Relax your shoulders. Just a few breaths here. Breathe your breath into that left thigh and left hip flexor. The hip flexor being the upper thigh, the muscles that cross around the front of your pelvis and up into your abdomen. Okay, now release the right foot, bring the foot to the floor and bring your left foot to the floor. Now we're going to do that again. You can keep the block on the lowest setting or you can pick it up a level. It's your choice. If you found that pose was a bit tricky, then keep the block low. Pick up the left leg. Okay, it's a bit wobbly now, so take your time and straighten your right leg. The heel might not touch the floor here. If it's floating in space, that's okay, as long as your lower back feels okay. If I even assist your lower back by guiding your tailbone towards that right foot, towards the front of your mat, so your lower back gets some length. It doesn't glitch in. And now let's change sides. Bring your right foot to the floor. Sorry, your left foot to the floor. Pick up your right leg and lengthen the left leg long. Make sure you haven't got one shoulder dropped. Try and place your upper body symmetrically as well. And relax your neck. You can make sure that you haven't got your neck in an awkward position here. Now stretch that left leg a little longer. Push the foot towards the front of your mat as you push your tailbone towards the front of the mat. Now release your right leg, bring the foot to the floor, bend the left leg, and bring the block back down a level. Now we're going to take this a little bit further. I really enjoy doing this at the moment. It's such a good deep stretch on the front of the leg. So you've prepared yourself now for you to pick up your right leg and point your toes like a ballet dancer. So you're lengthening the front of the ankle. Then reach around with your hand and bring your leg around a little bit more and tuck the toes under. Now, if this is really challenging for you, you can come out of this and pick the block up a level. And it's a little bit, you've got a bit more height and a bit more space for you to bring your foot around. So set this up. I'm going to give you a bit of time here to hold the pose. So find a place with the block lower is a little more challenging, with the block high, got a little bit more of an assist. For many people, lengthening the front of the foot and ankle like this is very challenging. So even if you've got your toes on the floor like this, that's okay, but see if you can, bit by bit, day by day, keep repeating this, pull the foot back a little bit more so you get more of a stretch here. And when you're in this pose, push the knee forward and press it down. Keep the left buttock weighted and anchored down. Now let's do the other side. So pick up that right foot. You can even move the block a little bit over to the right so you've got a bit more space on the left side. Pick up the left knee, and again the block is either up a level or on the lowest setting, and draw that foot back. If the left knee is pointing way out to the left, you probably pulled the foot back too much. It's important that you get length on the outside of the quadricep muscles as well as the inside. So try and keep the knee pointing forward, push it forward, and push your tailbone forwards as well. Relax your jaw, relax your face. There's so much to think about in yoga poses, right? I think that's why people enjoy it so much. Your mind is occupied with your body. You're not thinking about your daily life. You're completely absorbed in the nuances of the poses and feeling it. So really breathe into that left hip flexor. Encourage it to lengthen with your breath. Now bring the left foot to the floor. Lift your bottom up so you can take your block away. Good. And come into downward facing dog. So roll over onto your side, walk your hands forward and step back. Lift up your bottom. Now bring your feet together. We're going to come into Pigeon Prep. So a different angle for your hips here. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist and onto the floor. And bring your back knee down and flatten your back foot so the toenails are down as well. Good. Now squeeze your knees towards each other so you actually lift up a little bit and bring your hands back so you're coming into a back bend. Lift up through the base of your heart. Good. And keep moving your left hip forward and your left ribs forward so you're actually squaring your chest to the front of your mat. It's parallel with the front of your mat. Good. Okay. Now, with your right knee forwards, I want you from here to bring your right hand inside your right knee, again on your fingertips, or flatten the hand if you need to come a bit lower down. Then bend your back leg, your back knee, and reach around with your left hand to grab the base of your shin. And possibly, I'll show you from this side, possibly draw that heel in a little bit closer towards your bottom as you squeeze your knees towards each other. Good. And as you do this, keep moving that left hip point forwards. And you can play around here with your balance a little bit as well, and maybe pick up that right hand a couple of times. See how that feels. You really have to use your leg strength in order to do that. 3, 2, 1. Now release that left foot, bring your hand down, go back to downward facing dog. So tuck your back toes under, pick up your back knee, and then your entire right leg goes back. Bring your feet together, and bring your left knee behind your left wrist. Bring your back leg down. Good. Now bring your hands back a little bit more so you start in this back bend. Bring your left hand inside your knee. Bend your right leg. By the way, you don't have to bend that back leg if you don't want to. You can just keep it on the floor if you can't. Just keep it on the floor and reach around with your right hand. Lift up your heart. And then possibly bring your heel in a little bit closer. Keep moving the right ribs forward, the right hip point forwards. And again, you play around with picking up your hand and bringing it down again. That will make your legs engage. That's what we want. You can even maybe keep your hand up completely. Good balance practice here. 3, keep breathing. 2, well done. 1, bring your hand down. Tuck your back toes under, so bring that back foot to the floor. Pick up your back knee and go back to downward facing dog again. Breathe deeply and breathe completely. Hang your head. Then bring your knees to the floor and come into child's pose again. Sit onto your heels, walk your hands forward and bring your head down. Now change this child's pose. Bring your elbows to the floor, bring your palms together, and bring your thumbs into your neck. And walk your elbows a little bit more forwards. Keep your eyes open. Now bring your hands back down to the floor. Come up to hands and knees and lie on your belly. So scooch your body weight forwards. Bring your hands down by your sides. Bring your legs together. Push your hands down and pick up both of your legs. Now you can separate your feet here, but keep pressing your feet towards each other. And if you can keep them together, then do. Lift your throat up away from the floor and pick up your hands. Then turn your thumbs down and interlace your fingers behind your back. Push your knuckles towards your feet. You can look up and raise your chin. If that is too tight for your neck, then look down. But pick your hands up and see if you can keep your legs up a little bit more. 3, 2, come up a little bit more. 1, now rest. Bring your hands to the floor. Turn your head to the right so your left cheek goes on the floor. Stay here for a few moments. Tuck your cheek down. See if you can bring a little bit more of your left ear to the mat, if that's okay for your neck. Good. Okay, now raise your head and bring your arms into cactus arms. So your elbows are on the floor at 90-degree angles and your hands are also down. Look at your mat. Pick up your legs again. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Pick up your elbows, your hands. Now keep looking slightly forwards. Stay here with your arms or possibly reach your arms forward, palms facing each other. Lift your thumbs up a little higher as you pick your legs up a little bit more. 3, 2, 1, then rest and turn your head to the left. Bring your right cheek carefully to the floor. And again, perhaps a little bit more of your ear. Make sure you've placed your head evenly in between your shoulders. Rest your legs, rest your back. Now look down at the floor. Bring your hands by the sides of your waist. Bring your legs together, or at least as close to each other as you can, as you curl up into Cobra. So lift up your chest, press your hands back towards your feet as you pull your body weight forward. Slightly lower your chin here. If your neck is feeling too tight, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other as if you were holding a pencil in place. Now come all the way down. We're going to change the hand position here. Bring your fingertips to the floor and widen your hands so they're actually off your mat. Push your fingers down into the floor, and as you inhale, come up again into Cobra. Feel slightly different with your hands further apart. Hopefully got a little bit more space here for your shoulders. You feel that space as well. 3, press your tailbone down. 2, 1. Now come halfway down and go into downward facing dog. Bring your hands to the floor, lift up, press back, find your pose. You might have scooched back a little bit here, so make sure you're on your mat comfortably. And then bring your knees to the floor and have your brick nearby. We're going to do bridge pose here. So bring your bottom to the floor, your brick within reaching distance, knees bent, come all the way down. Now put your brick medium setting in between your knees, a little bit lower than the knees, and squeeze the block. This is to ensure that your inner thighs engage. Make sure that your toes are all pointing straight ahead. Press your elbows down, bring your shoulder blades much closer to each other on your back. Then pick up your bottom, squeeze your block, straighten your arms, interlace your hands, bring your arms even closer to each other as you press your hands down. Press your tailbone to the block. Press your feet back towards your hands so the backs of your thighs really engage. Squeeze the block again. 3, lift your chin. 2, move your chest back towards your face. 1. Now release your hands, bring your arms to the floor, bring your bottom to the floor. Take the block away. Now put the block on the mid-height underneath your lower back. So the tailbone is just coming off the front of the block. And bring your hands down by your sides. Stay here. And you could even close your eyes for a moment here. We're going to stay here for a good minute. Just giving the energy in your body time to settle. So you're in a supported bridge pose here. An inversion, your heart slightly higher than the level of your brain. A cooling pose here. Let the blood from your lower body come down with more ease into your brain, giving your heart a little rest. Make sure your palms are facing up. Release your jaw. Soften your face. Now push your feet down and pick your bottom up so that you can take the block away. Bring your bottom back down again. Now keep the block in your hand and cross your right leg completely over your left leg, no gaps. Push your left foot down so you can pick your bottom up and scooch it to the right side of your mat. Then coming into a twist, bring both of your knees to the left, tuck your feet up. Now you've got the block here to rest your knees on, so that when you bring your arms to the sides of your body, turn both palms up so that your right shoulder can come down a little closer to the floor. With your legs supported, you can come into a more even twist, not just in the lower spine, but also in your upper back. Press your left elbow down into the floor so you can pick up your back left ribs and bring them closer to that left elbow. And then your right shoulder can drop down a little more completely. Soften your feet and your legs, but you need to squeeze your legs enough for you to hold the shape of the pose. But we are now releasing and letting go a little bit here. So don't squeeze too much, don't strive too much with the strength element here, just find a little bit more internal softness. If you want, you can turn your head to look towards your right hand, otherwise just look up towards the ceiling. And about 3 more breaths here. Make them long and smooth. Each inhalation and exhalation thin and even. Now coming to the other side, push your feet down, pick up your knees, uncross the right leg, reach around for your block, put it in your right hand, scooch your bottom back to center, and cross your left leg completely around your right leg. Bring your bottom over to the left of your mat and drop your knees to the right, again supporting your legs with your block. So you can feel a good twist in the lower back, but that your legs are parked. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms facing up. And again, push your right elbow down, pick up the back right ribs and move them a little bit closer to that right elbow so the left side of your upper back can rest down a little more completely. Make sure your head is placed in between your shoulders evenly, and you can turn your head to the left or look up. Any little adjustments that you want to make to make this twist feel right. Make them. And then try and soften. Holding only where you need to hold and letting go wherever the opportunity arises. So really relax your arms, your face, your jaw, your shoulders, even your abdominal muscles, your legs, your feet. Breathe slowly, evenly, and smoothly. Two more breaths. Then on your next inhalation, push your feet down, bring your knees up. Take the block away and come into Shavasana. So if you have a blanket or a towel that you like to put underneath your neck or your head, reach for it now. And then lengthen your legs long down the mat. Make sure you're not touching any props, so your nervous system isn't getting any stimuli, just surrounded by air as you lie on your mat. Palms facing up, fingers loosely curled. Maybe walk your heels a little longer down the mat so your legs are stretched long, and then rest, let go. We're going to stay here just for a couple of minutes in silence as you let your body reboot, relax, and soften. Now bend your knees one leg at a time, bringing the soles of your feet to the floor. And roll over onto your right side. Rest your head in your upper arm. Pause here for a few moments. Keep your eyes closed. Just assess how you feel, how your yoga practice has changed your perspective perhaps a little. Notice how you feel in your body, how the energy is moving around your entire body. In particular, your back, your hips, even your shoulders. Now press down with one hand and then the other and bring yourself up to sit. Close your eyes again as soon as you can and bring your hands into your heart. Lower your chin so it touches your fingertips. Release your hands and bring your palms down onto your legs. Raise your chin and open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for practicing with me today.